Hi, I'm Cheryl. Today we're going to heat things up today and do a little heat embossing with my heat gun and make this birthday card. This is heat embossed and then it's outlined with the Stampin' Up markers, and then I have little, glittery dots. I don't know, can you see them glitter? On the front of my card. The one we're making is going to be just a little bit different, but I wanted a little glitter on this one and something flat because it's going to go through the mail. So I was playing around and I just thought I'd show you this. I made these little dots, and this one was Tombow glue, and I just sprinkled the glitter on top of it and then waited for it to dry. This one was done with a glue dot, but these weren't, I'll keep this idea in mind for future cards, but this was not exactly what I was going for, or what I wanted on this card. So then I thought, oh, I have the Dazzling Diamonds glitter paper from Stampin' Up. So I used a 1/4-inch hole punch and just punched out, there's 5 dots. I punched out 5 dots for the front of the card and just glued them in place, which leads me to this handy little thing that I've made for myself. And this is just a skewer, a wooden skewer, and then on the pointy end I put a little dab of Tombow glue and let it dry. And this is probably the best picker-upper tool. Watch with the sequins. I take my tool and I just touch it, and I can pick up all these little things like this. So that was handy, placing my little glitter dots in place. On the card we're making, I wasn't sure if I wanted to use sequins or pearls, but I think I'm going to use the pearls because it'll be easier for me to do the little outline around them so that it all coordinates. That was another reason I wanted to use these, that I thought these would look better on the card, because it's got the white background already built in that it coordinates really nice with the embossing that's done on this card. So anyway, so you're going to need your heat gun. You're going to need white embossing powder. You'll need a coordinating marker. We're going to be using Sweet Sugarplum. I used Mint Macaron cardstock and the Mint Macaron marker for the sample card, but we're going to be using Sweet Sugarplum. You need a piece of Sweet Sugarplum cardstock, 5.5 by 8.5, scored and folded at 4 1/4. That's our card base. Then we have the piece that we're going to be embossing, and this is 5 by 3 3/4. We have a backer piece to give us a little bit of a white border around it in Whisper White, and that's 5 1/4 by 4. And then for the inside of the card, we have a piece that's 5 by 3 3/4. But don't worry about writing all that down, because that'll all be listed down below. We're using the Sew in Love stamp set. We're using this big flower here. And then on the inside of the card, I used this stamp, A Day to Celebrate. We're also using another stamp, this Happy Birthday stamp. This isn't a Stampin' Up product. I'll name the manufacturer down below in the list of this one, but I wanted a large, scripty, bold Happy Birthday for the front, so I'm using this stamp. Okay, let's see, the sequins. We don't need to have the sequins out here because I don't think I'm going to use them. You'll need some Tombow glue. You'll need your Tuxedo Black Memento ink. We need an embossing buddy. Don't skip getting an embossing buddy. This is so valuable if you're embossing. And I store this. Most of the time I'll use Versamark ink when I emboss, especially if I'm embossing something clear. I store this on top of my Versamark ink because otherwise I have a tendency to forget to use this, and you really, really, really want to use this. And we'll be using Whisper White ink, and that's a pigment ink. You can use pigment inks to emboss because they take a little while to dry. And it's just enough time for you to do your stamping and heat emboss it, and your embossing powder will stay stuck. So let me use my Embossing Buddy on here and get that all over it. And then we'll stamp that first with the Happy Birthday. Let's get that inked up. Make sure I have it facing the right way. Boy, I made a mess of that. Look at this. It's white all over the place. I hope it stamps alright. And I'm going to stamp it kind of towards the right bottom corner. And oh, that's good. It came out well. And now I'm also going to do the flower, but we're going to we're only going to do the stamping on the bottom part of the card right this moment. Put a flower coming off here and have one coming in a little bit more over here. Let me grab my nasty old rag here. Microfiber cloth. Wipe that up. And let me bring in a piece of paper, and we'll sprinkle on our embossing powder real quickly because we don't want that to sink into the card and dry on us. Most of my embossing powders I keep in a little plastic container. I don't use the white quite as much, so I haven't done that with that. And then we'll just shake that off. If there's any little extras, if you can just brush it off with your finger, do that. Otherwise, if it was close to where we stamped, a soft brush comes in handy. So now I'm going to turn my heat gun on. I'm just going to let it run for a few seconds to get it hot before I start my heat embossing. And I'll bring that in and emboss. And bring it way over here, away from my powder and my ink. And you'll be able to tell when it's working because your powder will go from a matte finish to a glossy finish. Okay, that looks good. Sorry for shouting. So now we'll stamp the other flowers on our card. I have one, let's see. I want to make sure there is an upside on this flower, so I want to make sure that's facing the right direction. Nice one there. I'll have another one over here. Just turn it a little bit. And I'll put another one over here and turn it a little the other way. And I'll sprinkle that with my embossing powder. The reason I did half of the card at a time, there is a reason for it, is because, well, that heat gun gets hot, so I want to keep my fingers away from it. So by doing this, then Oh, you can tell I was holding it there. Let me see, did I get all the extra powder off? Yep, that looks pretty good. Okay, so once again, I'll start the heat gun going off to the side here. And then I'll bring it in. And heat emboss my flowers. Okay, so now we can take this and pour that back into our little jar. I don't need that paper anymore. And now we've got it embossed. See how nice bright white that is? That's why I was using the white pigment ink, because I think you just get a brighter white that way. So now we'll take our marker and do our tracing. Oh, wrong end. You don't want the little tiny end. You want the end that has the thicker line and the paintbrush type tip like this. And we're just going to go all around the outline of our flowers and our happy birthday. And that just gives it a nice shadow. It really makes this pop out. If I didn't pull a paper towel, I'm going to want a paper towel in just a minute, because I want to wipe off any ink that's on top of my... Oh, I do have a little bit of a paper towel here. It's been used before, but that's okay, because you'll get ink on top of your embossing, and we'll want to wipe that off. You see how that just really pops out the white against the color. And this is one of the things I love about Stampin' Up. They have, it's like everything coordinates. They have the designer paper is in colors that coordinates with cardstock. We have the markers. They just came out with watercolor pencils. I've been doing a little playing with them. What else? And they have ribbons for certain colors and baker's twine, and just makes it so easy. I don't have to say, I wonder if this ink is going to go with this cardstock. Well, yeah, it is if it's got the same color name. And then on the back of the designer series papers, it always comes with a little label somewhere included in it, and it tells you what colors coordinate with it. It just takes all the guesswork out. And we're almost done. I'm going to keep my marker handy though, because we're going to use that when we go around, when we put down our pearls. Okay, so I'm going to, and where did it go? Here we go. There's all of our other papers. I'm going to use my Tombow didn't mean to do that. I went right off the paper. Use my Tombow, and then I'll center this on my piece of Whisper White here. And we'll have about 1/8 of an inch showing all the way around. And then this will go down on our piece of our Sugarplum card base here. And again, we have about 1/4 of an inch showing all the way around that also. So it makes a nice little frame. Okay, so now we can put our pearls on. Now I've already snipped these apart. These are kind of strung together. I've already snipped them. I'm just going to, let's see, I'll put one there. Put one down here, I guess. I don't want them all lined up. It just doesn't look right. You want them more have a scattered look. Put one there, and let's see, where should I put this last one? Oh, I think over here. I think I'll put that right there. Okay, so those are stuck down. We'll get our pen out again, get the painterly part out, and we'll just go around our pearls so they look just like all the rest of the white on here. If you need to turn your paper around when you do this, then that does make it a little bit easier. And last pearl right there. All right. Now let's take our piece of paper that's going to go on the inside, our Whisper White. We'll get the Memento ink now. And this says a day to celebrate. We're going to stamp that kind of towards the top and centered side to side. Go straight down, straight up. We got a nice impression. Close up our ink. Just make sure that's dry. And Tombow glue on the back of this. Put a little more down that corner. And make sure our card is oriented the right way. And we'll just put that down inside, and this will have about 1/4 of an inch showing all the way around. And there we go. Our card is finished. So here's the original one with my little sparkly dots. And there's the one that we just made with the pearls. So I hope you liked my video. If you did, then be sure to hit that like button down there. If you'd like to see more, then hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to shop with me, you can do that either through my Facebook page or my website. And as always, all the materials that I've used will be listed down below. So y'all, take care. stay safe, and happy stamping.